राम 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 सर्वेभ्यः नमो नमः। सुप्रभातम्। गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे, गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे। न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः, मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो। सर्वेभ्यः हार्दं स्वागतं व्याहरामि। अष्टमः पाठः श्री शङ्करभगवत्पादाः। एतस्य पाठस्य प्रथमार्धम् अस्माभिः गतकक्ष्यायां दृष्टं, चर्चितम्, अधीतं। सारांशरूपेण किम् इत्युक्ते शङ्कराचार्याणां विषये अत्र उल्लिखितं वर्तते पाठे। अष्टवर्षे चतुर्वेदी, द्वादशे सर्वशास्त्रवित्, षोडशे कृतवान् भाष्यं, द्वात्रिंशे मुनिरभ्यगात् इति एषः श्लोकः शङ्कराचार्याणां जीवने प्रमुख प्रसङ्गान् दर्शयति। अष्टवर्षे एव शङ्कराचार्यः चतुर्वेदी आसीत्। एवं द्वादशे वर्षे सर्वशास्त्राणाम् अध्ययनं कृतवान्। षोडशे वयसि प्रस्थानत्रयस्य भाष्यादीनि रचितवान्। एवं द्वात्रिंशे अवतारकार्यं समाप्य मुनिः अभ्यगात् इति अस्य श्लोकस्य अर्थः। एवं एतदस्माभिः पूर्वं दृष्टम्। अनन्तरं तत्र तेषां जननं कुत्र अभवत्, कदा अभवत् इति विषये अपि अस्माभिः दृष्टं। केरले पूर्णानद्याः तटे विद्यमानं कालटि नामकं ग्रामं, तत्र एतेषां जन्म अभवत्। कदा, कस्मिन् समये अथवा इति प्रश्ने कृते नन्दनसंवत्सरे वैशाखशुक्लपञ्चम्यां तिथौ अभवत्, शुभे मुहूर्ते अभवत् इति। अनन्तरं शङ्कराचार्यस्य पितुः मातुः विषयं, तत्र शङ्करगुरुः इति शङ्कराचार्यस्य पिता, आर्याम्बा इति माता। यदा शङ्कराचार्यः त्रिहायनः अभवत्, इत्युक्ते त्रिवयस्कः, तस्मिन् समये एव दुर्दैवात्, दुरादृष्टवशात् शिवगुरुः मरणम् अवाप। अनन्तरं आर्याम्बा पुत्रस्य रक्षणार्थम् उद्युक्ता, कटिबद्धा, स्वबन्धुभिः सह एतस्य उपनयनसंस्कारं कारितवती। अनन्तरं गुरुकुलवासं कृत्वा शङ्करः द्वित्रैरेव वर्षैः सर्वानपि वेदाङ्गानि, विविधाः भाषाः अपि अधीतवान् इति। एवम् एतद् अध्ययनानन्तरं शङ्करः चिन्तयति, एतत् अत्र एतत् जगत् मिथ्या एव, अतः मृगतृष्णिका कल्पितम् इति चिन्तयित्वा अनन्तरं सन्न्यासाश्रमं प्रविष्टुम् इच्छन् गुरोः अन्वेषणं कुर्वन् गोविन्दभगवत्पादानां शरणम् उपगम्य तस्मात् सन्न्यासदीक्षां प्राप्नोति। एतावत्पर्यन्तम् अस्माभिः दृष्टम्। अग्रे अधुना पठामः। अल्पीयसैव कालेन शिष्यस्य प्रतिभया विस्मितः गुरुः अमुं शिष्यं भगवतः शङ्करस्य अवतारं मत्वा पाखण्डैः अभिभूयमानस्य सनातनधर्मस्य परिपालनाय आदिशत्। शिरसा वहन् गुरोराज्ञां शङ्कराचार्यः वाराणसीं गत्वा भाष्यग्रन्थचयान् विरचय्य अपरिमितान् अन्तेवासिनः सङ्गृह्य तैः सह पादचारेण पुण्यक्षेत्रेषु सञ्चरन् तत्रत्यैः महाविद्वद्भिः साकं सुदीर्घकालं वादं कृत्वा स्वमतम् अद्वैतं लोके प्रचारयामास। अल्पीयसा एव अल्पीयसैव अत्र वृद्धिसन्धिः वर्तते। अल्पीयसा एव कालेन नाम न तु दीर्घकालः परं शीघ्रम् इति शीघ्रकालेन एव गुरुः शिष्यस्य प्रतिभां ज्ञात्वा शिष्यस्य अल्पीयस्य एव कालेन शिष्यस्य प्रतिभया तस्य प्रतिभां दृष्ट्वा कथं सः सर्वमपि यद्यद् गुरुभिः पाठितं गुरुणा उक्तं तत् कथम् एकवारं श्रुत्वा एव सम्यक् तस्य प्रतिपादनं करोति इत्यादि ज्ञात्वा गुरुः चिन्तयति अवश्यम् एषः सामान्यः शिष्यः न परं शिवस्य एव अवतारः इति। शिष्यस्य प्रतिभया विस्मितः आश्चर्यचकितः विस्मितो गुरुः अत्र उकारादेश विसर्गसन्धिः वर्तते। विस्मितः गुरुः इति पदच्छेदः भवति। अमुं शिष्यम् अमुं एनं शिष्यं नाम शङ्कराचार्यं भगवतः शङ्करस्य अवतारं मत्वा अवश्यम् एषः शङ्करस्य अवतारः एव यतोहि एवं तादृशः पूर्णज्ञानी वर्तते एषः इति चिन्तयित्वा भगवतः अत्र षष्टिविभक्तिः एकवचनं अत्र शङ्करस्य इत्यपि तदैव भवति यतोहि भगवत् शब्दः तस्य षष्टिविभक्तिः भवति अत्र। एतत् विशेषणं शङ्करस्य इत्यस्य अत्र शङ्करः इत्युक्ते साक्षात् शिवः। शिवस्य अवतारम् अत्र सवर्णदीर्घसन्धिः अवतारं मत्वा नाम चिन्तयित्वा ज्ञात्वा एतत्तु त्वान्ताव्ययं ल्यबन्त् एतत्तु कृदन्तः भवति मत्वा having thought इति पाखण्डैः अभिभूयमानस्य पाखण्डैः अभिभूयमानस्य अत्र रेफादेशविसर्गसन्धिः अस्ति। अभिभूयमानस्य तन्नाम वेदधर्मं यः खण्डयति सः पाखण्डः इति वक्तुं शक्यते। नास्तिकाः इत्यपि वक्तुं शक्यते। नास्तिकैः अभिभूयमानस्य नाम तिरस्कृतविषयः इति। ते वेदं न अङ्गीकुर्वन्ति वेदविरुद्धम् एव प्रतिपादयन्ति। एवमुक्त्वा सनातनधर्मे किमपि नास्ति अथवा सनातनधर्मः समीचीनः न इति एतादृश प्रतिपादनं पाखण्डाः कृतवन्तः अन्यमतिनः कृतवन्तः। सनातनधर्मस्य परिपालनाय आदिशत्। अतः इदानीं सनातनधर्मस्य पुनरुद्धारः अपेक्षितः। टु uplift the Sanatana Dharma, Shankaracharya was ordered by his guru Govinda-Bhagavatpadah, who could recognize that Shankaracharya is Sakshat Avatara of Shiva. That too in a short span of their association. So that is the meaning of this, gist of this paragraph. Pakhandaha is any atheist who is not believing in the principles that has been propagated by the holy Vedas. He is an astika. Astika means one who has reverence and follows the thoughts that have been propagated through the Vedas. So, so there are so many matas which are not Vedic. Okay, Avaidika matani santi. Tadrisha vaktaraha or people who propagated those matas were always a threat to the Sanatana Dharma. So they always disregarded the principles or the teachings or the Jnana Rashi of the Vedas. And hence, this was the time when the Sanatana Dharma had to be uplifted and protected. Ataha Govinda Bhagavatpadah asya Shankarasya pratibham drishtva avashyam eshaha etadrishakarye प्रवीणः समर्थः इति ज्ञात्वा तस्य सनातनधर्मस्य परिपालनाय परिपालनं नाम रक्षणम् इति वक्तुं शक्यते पुनरुद्धारः इत्यपि वक्तुं शक्यते तस्य परिपालनाय आदिशत् ordered आदिशत, दिश धातोः लङ्लकारः आदिशत, अत्रापि परिपालनाय आदिशत, अत्र सवर्णदीर्घसन्धिः वर्तते। इदानीं यद्यद् गुरुभिः उच्यते, गुरुणा यत् उच्यते तत् अवश्यं शिष्यैः कर्तव्यं। शिरसा वहन्, इदानीं गुरोः आज्ञां, गुरोराज्ञाम्, अत्र रेफादेशविसर्गसन्धिः, गुरोः षष्ठी विभक्तिः एकवचनम्, आज्ञाम्, आज्ञा इति शब्दः आकारान्तः स्त्रीलिङ्गशब्दः, अत्र द्वितीयविभक्तिः एकवचनं। गुरोः आज्ञां शङ्कराचार्यः शिरसा वहन्, वहन् इति शत्रुप्रत्ययः, शत्रुप्रत्ययः is basically used to say or indicate a present continuous action, vartamana kalaha. So having taken this order of his guru with utmost reverence or respect, shirasa vahan means, so this was his topmost priority or topmost goal in his life. Taking that, the words of guru, Shankaracharya kim karoti, गुरोः आज्ञानुसारं वाराणसीं गच्छति, वाराणसीं गत्वा अद्यतनकाशी, काशीं गत्वा तत्र भाष्यग्रन्थचयान् विरचय्य, गत्वा पुनः अत्र क्त्वान्ताव्ययम्, having gone, having reached Varanasi, भाष्यग्रन्थचयान्, chaya, whenever we say, it means to say a collection, samuchayah, you can also would have heard the word samuchayah, भाष्यग्रन्थानां समूहः इत्यपि वक्तुं शक्यते। प्रस्थानत्रयस्य भाष्यं विरचितवान् शङ्कराचार्यः। प्रस्थानत्रयं नाम मुख्यरूपेण ब्रह्मसूत्राणि, अनन्तरं भगवद्गीता, अपि च उपनिषदः। एतेषां भाष्यं विरचय्य having composed, अत्र ल्यबन्ताव्ययं वर्तते। गत्वा विरचय्य एतादृशानि पदानि कृदन्त अव्ययानि. Avyayam means it does not change based on the linga, vibhakti or vachana. It is an indeclinable. Virachaya, having composed or having written, vi upasarga sahita rach dhatoho lyabanta avyayam atra. Gantachayan atra dvitiya vibhaktihi bahuvachanam asti because it is a collection of works that he Acharya would do at Varanasi. एवम् अनन्तरं किं कृतवान् इति पुनः प्रश्ने कृते अपरिमितान् अन्तेवासिनः. अपरिमितान्, there is no sandhi here, it is just a gunitakshara. अपरिमितान्, परिमितं नाम one which is limited, परिमितं नाम अस्य परिमाणम् एवम् अस्ति, एतादृश अस्ति, अथवा you can count etc, that is परिमितं. अपरिमितं is the opposite, अनन्तं इत्यपि वक्तुं शक्यते. He had many students. अपरिमितान् अन्तेवासिनः. Antevasi is the word. It is a nakaranta pullinga shabda, antevasin shabda. That means disciple or a shishyaha. Aparimitan shishyan, anantan shishyan sangrihya, having accepted. Sangrihya is basically holding, also is another word, but he obtained so many students or disciples. Aparimitan antevasinaha is again द्वितीय विभक्तिः बहुवचनं. संगृह्य अत्रापि ल्यबन्ताव्ययं वर्तते. सम उपसर्गसहित गृह धातु गृह्णाति इति धातोः ल्यबन्ताव्ययं. having accepted many disciples, तैः सह, तैः इत्यनेन अन्तेवासिभिः सह और शिष्यैः सह, तृतीय विभक्तिः बहुवचनं. So one grammatical peculiarity here is, or a grammar rule or special case is, saha. यदा यदा सः इति पदस्य उपयोगं वयं कुर्मः तदा तत् सम्बन्धं पदं तृतीयविभक्तौ भवति. So whenever we use saha, the corresponding word along with whatever we are saying, that will be in तृतीया विभक्तिः. एवं तैः सह रामः वनं गच्छति, सीतया सह वनं गच्छति, etc. or putraha pitra saha aapanam gacchati. These are some of the examples. Saha sakam sardham samam. These are the 4 words which mean similar. Saha along with sakam, samam, sardham. Whenever we use these 4 words, we have to use in Tritiya Vibhakti. Astu. Tais saha padacharena. Padacharena nama padbhyam पुण्यक्षेत्रेषु संचरन् शंकरः आभारतं सर्वत्र पद्भ्याम् एव संचारं कृत्वा तत्र तत्र वादान् कृत्वा सनातनधर्मस्य उद्धारं कृतवान् इति वयं जानीमः। तदेव अत्र अस्मिन् वाक्ये दत्तं वर्तते। पादचारेण पुण्यक्षेत्रेषु तीर्थक्षेत्रेषु in various prominent places and pilgrimage centers or centers of education, etc. Punyakshetreshu saptami bhakti bahuvachanam atra sancharan atrapi similar to vahan, which is present continuous. Sancharan sancharam kurvan iti atra shatru pratyayah prathama purushah prathama vibhakti ekavachanam kshamyataam तत्रत्यैः महाविद्वद्भिः तत्रत्यैः महाविद्वद्भिः अत्र रेफादेशविसर्गसन्धिः अस्ति। तत्रत्यैः नाम तत्र उपस्थितैः ये तत्र वसन्ति तैः सह इति। महाविद्वद्भिः साकं यथा पूर्वम् अस्माभिः दृष्टं सः साकं तृतीयाविभक्तिः भवति, अतः अत्र विद्वद्भिः इति तृतीयाविभक्तिः अस्ति। महाविद्वांसः ये अन्यमतानि प्रतिपादयन्ति तैः सह सुदीर्घकालं वादं कृत्वा अत्रापि सुदीर्घकालं न तु केवलं एकदिने तत्र वादः समाप्तिम् एष्यति इति नास्ति. It is सुदीर्घकाल. Some of the debates, like for example the debate with Mandana Mishra, which is very famous in the history of Shankaracharya, it took almost many days, almost close to 2 to 3 weeks or even more, because Shankaracharya had to also do a Parakaya Pravesha to answer some of the questions that Ubhaya Bharati had asked. Ubhaya Bharati is the wife of Mandana Mishra in that Janma or in the Manushya Janma. But whenever any avatara happens, like the avatar of Shankaracharya, of Shiva, all the other devatas also will take form or will incarnate to support the goal of the main avatara. In that way, Ubhaya Bharati was actually the avatara of Sakshat Saraswati only. So that was the context. Anyway, that is not specifically indicated in the lesson here, but to give the example where there was a Sudirgha Kala Vada, it is Mandana Mishra and Bhagavatpada's Vada. And then evam taih saha Sudirgha Kalam Vadam Kritva, debating and saying why this Vedanta and the Advaita philosophy is prominent or is the real thing that we have to accept. Swamatam Advaitam Loke Pracharayamasa. Swamatam Shankaracharyihi संस्थापितम् इत्यपि वक्तुं शक्यते अथवा प्रतिष्ठापितम् इति वक्तुं शक्यते. स्वमतम् अद्वैतं लोके प्रचारयामास. He spread across the entire Bharata the Advaita Mata. Advaitam nama, there is no two, it is one. Aham Brahma Asmi iti etadasha एतद् एव वाक्यम् उपयुज्य अथवा तत्त्वमसि इत्यादि वाक्यानि उपयुज्य एतानि महावाक्यानि वेदेषु द्रष्टुं शक्यते. Keeping these as the foundations or the founding principles, he established the mata called Advaita, the philosophy called Advaita. Loke saptami bhakti ekavachanam pracharayamasa pracharam kratavan. He spread across and established his own principle, which is Advaita Mata. This is, of course, based on his gurus, that is Govinda Bhagavatpada's order and blessing. He established this Advaita Mata. So I will just stop for a moment at this point and see if there are any questions in the chat box, or um, if any specific questions, please do raise your hands. I think the interface of Zoom has changed a bit. That's what I learned from some of the interactions with some of the students. So you may have to click on the participants icon, and then there may be an action icon, and from there you may be able to um, raise hand. That is one possibility. Apart from that, you can also use the chat. You will be asking the question directly. Um, yeah, so you will be able to chat with me directly to ask your questions. Okay, so now let us see if there are any specific questions here. Ravi Shankar Mahoray, you can ask your question.
Charya, Hari Om. This Sancharana, can you just explain?
Yeah, sure. So Sancharan is basically charan. Okay, so chara dhatu. Um, so chara means, basically there are two meanings for chara. One is to move, and one more is to eat. So both has chara bhakshana and chara gamane. Both are there. Both meanings are there. Um, and then here, charati means he walks around or he moves around. Sancharan is Shatru Pratyaha. So that is basically one kind of Kridanta Pratyaya, which means Vartamana Kala, present continuous. So
Continuously walking.
Punyakshetreshu Sancharan, traveling across the centers or across the places, he spread the Advaita Mata. So that is the meaning of this. Sancharan is traveling. So it is present continuous. Sure. The same way is also the other word, which is Vahan. Vahan is also holding this Adesha from the Guru on his head. That means giving that the utmost reverence. Okay. Harin Mehta Mahodaya, you can ask your question.
नमस्ते महोदय. अत्र सुदीर्घकालं वादं शब्दस्य विशेषणमस्ति वा?
Ha, Satyam. Sudirghakalam Vadam. So Sudirghakalam is for a long time. For a long time, what did he do? Vadam Kritva. So you can think it as a Kriya Visheshana. So yeah, Vadam Alpavadhi Vadam Va athava Sudirghakala Vadam Va iti. Sudirghakalam Vadam Kritva. So it may not be directly an adjective, but can be thought in that way.
Okay. सुदीर्घकालेन इति न सम्यक्.
सुदीर्घकालेन वादं कृत्वा इति सम्यक् न भवति. यतोहि सुदीर्घकालेन किमपि कृतवान् इति वक्तुं शक्यते. But when we say particularly after a long time he did this, then sudirghakalena etad kritavan, we can make use of that sentence. So in that case, if you see, it's kind of a kriya visheshana that is happening for the vada. So hence it is following that same vibhakti in that way.
Astu, dhanyawad.
Astu, dhanyawadaha. Okay, maybe one more question at this point. Okay, Jagannath Rao Mahodaya.
Namaskara, Sir Guruji.
Namaste.
Sir, I heard that Shankaracharya's Advaita is not, he didn't establish, but it's the Gaudapadacharya, the Guru of Govindapadacharya.
Correct. That is true.
Okay,
so,
okay. That's
yeah,
I have a reference, that's all.
Yes. That is true. I will just briefly tell about it.
Okay. No issue, but just
Sure.
for a reference, I am.
Okay. Agreed.
Whether I am correct or not.
Yeah, that is true. Dhanyawadaha.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So when we say here Swamatam Advaitam Loke Pracharayamasa, basically the wish of Govinda Bhagavatpada, the guru of Shankaracharya, was that looking into his intellect and his way of understanding the things, he knew he would establish something or propagate the Advaita that has been there. So Advaita is not something that was very newly created by Shankaracharya for that matter. It is part of the Sanatana Dharma, and all the other preceptors before Shankaracharya, his Guru, Parama Guru, etc., all followed or practiced the Advaita Tattva. But putting it in a framework and through his bhashyas, where giving various examples, anecdotes, etc., and proving that this is the right way to look at things. So that was what was established by Shankaracharya. And hence, here the Swamatam is used. Swamatam is his own um, philosophy. That's how it is. Or the philosophy that you are believing, that is also Swamatam. That is also possible. So, Swasyamatam, Swamatam. Swamatam, Advaitam, Loke, Pracharaya Masa. Pracharaya Masa is litlakara. Pracharam kritavaniti chakara. This is a litlakara rupa. Asa asatuhu asuhu. Pracharaya masa, pracharaya masatuhu, pracharaya masuhu. That's how the forms will be. Astu, agre saramaha. Avarjayamasa cha madhura madhuraya vagdhoranya janatayaha chetamsi. Khandayamasa cha viruddhani pakhandamatani. Rachayamasa cha hridyaya shailya parashyatan granthan. अध्यापयामास च नानादिभ्यः समागतान् परस्सहस्रान् शिष्यान् तेषु प्रधानभूताः पद्मपादाचार्यः सुरेश्वराचार्यः हस्तामलकाचार्यः तोटकाचार्यः इति चत्वारः शिष्याः. So now we are seeing what all Shankaracharya has done in his Alpa Vayas, or in his short lived term. First and foremost thing, based on Guru's Agya, he went to Varanasi, wrote the Bhashya Granthas. Then there also, it is already mentioned, Aparimitan, Antevasinaha Sangrahya, etc. This is one statement in summary, what all he did in summary. Now, they're kind of elaborating what all he was able to do. And that is what is given here. Avarjaya masacha madhura madhuraya vag thoranya. So just give me a moment. Avarjaya masa madhura madhuraya nama, through his sweet words, madhura vagbhihi iti vagdhoranya nama vachobhihi vagdharabhihi janatayaha chetamsi, janatayaha chetamsi, janatayas chetamsi, and then janatayas chetamsi. Sakaradeshu visarga sandhi is there, and after that followed by shtutva sandhi is what is there. Chetaha chetasi chetamsi. Chetas is sakarantaha napumsakalinga shabdaha. So chetaha means the mind. Avarjaya masa is he captivated the minds of people. Janatayaha chetamsi. How did he captivate the minds or attract the minds of the people? By madhuraya vagdhoranya. By having or speaking very sweetly, and by composing various stotras and shloka granthas. So, as we all know, Shankaracharya has written or composed so many series of shlokas on all the 6 deities, basically, or Shanmatam. So that's why in the Birudavali of Shankaracharya, or even Shringeri Acharyas, we say Shanmata Sthapanacharya. So who established the Shanmata? Shanmata is basically the path of devotion towards 6 deities. So which is Aditya, the Surya, Ambika, Devi. All the Devis come in there, like either Lakshmi, Durga, Saraswati, etc. All the Devis, the Shakta, basically. Aditya, Ambika, Shiva, then Maheshwara, Vishnu. Vishnu is Narayana, Harihara, basically. And then Gananatha, Ganesha, and then Skanda. Skanda is Subramanya or Shanmukha. So these are the 6 deities, that is Kaumaram, Ganapatam, Shaivam, Vaishnavam, Shaktam, and then Adityam. So, and he composed very beautiful shlokas like the Saundarya Lahari or Shivananda Lahari and various other shlokas, which as soon as we hear to it, we feel pleased or we feel calmed down, etc. So, evam madhura madhuraya vagdhoranya, madhura madhuraya vachobhihi, vagdharabhihi, sudha sadrisha vagbhihi, also we can say, which were like nectar, avarjayamasa janatayaha chetamsi. He captivated the minds of the people. And then khandaya masa. So everywhere, wherever we are seeing masa here in these cases, these are all the litlakara rupas, as we saw in the previous ones. Pracharaya masa. So litlakara prathama purusha ekavachanam everywhere. So here a is also upasarga, which is also there. Avarjaya masa. Evam. And then khandaya masa cha viruddhani pakhanda matani. As we have seen, pakhanda matani is avaidika matani, whichever is not associated with the Vedas or which is negating the Vedas. So those matas are called pakhanda matani. Viruddhani pakhanda matani khandaya masa. He basically shattered them or basically opposed those matas. Rachaya masa cha hridyaya shailya. Hridyam nama, one which makes us feel happy about whenever we read anything. Hridyaya, one which is beautiful, that is Hridyaya Shailya. In that way, Shaili is in what way he composed, what way in the sense, how are the granthas looked at, etc. That is what is that. So, Hridyaya Shailya, Parashyatan Granthan Rachaya Masa. Parashyatan, Nama, Shatadhikan, even more than hundreds of granthas has been written or composed by Shankaracharya in the most beautiful manner. Evam. Okay. So Granthan, Parashyatan Granthan is Dvitiya Bhakti Bahuvachanam, and Parashyatan is an adjective to Granthan. So hence it is also following the same way. Parashyatan, Shatadhikan, Parasahasran, we are seeing the next one, next line, where Parasahasran, that means say more than 1,000 students. Okay. So Rachaya Masacha Hridyaya Shailya is Tritiya Bhakti Ekavachanam. So, and Hridyaya is an adjective to the Shaili. In what way, what is the style of composition? So that is what it is, Shaili. So this also is Tritiya Bhakti Ekavachanam. Adhyapayamasa, Pathayamasa, Bodhitavan ityarthaha, cha nanadibhyaha samagatan parasahasran shishyan. Shishyan adhyapayamasa, the basic sentence. Kati shishyan adhyapayamasa, parasahasran shishyan adhyapayamasa. Now, kutratyaha ete shishyaha, if you ask a question, from where were these students came? Nanadibhyaha, nama sarvatra bharate tatra purva dishi ye vidyarthinah asan tepi agatavantah, dakshinat api agatavantah. Evam nanadibhyaha, from all the directions, samagatan, agatan parasahasran shishyan bodhayamasa. He taught, he uh, gave them this ultimate knowledge of the Advaita Siddhanta, Advaita, and also made them practice and propagate it further. Samagatan, some agatan, some upasarga sahita agatan. Agatan here is basically um, tavatu pratyaya bhutakalartha, which is also kridanta, gatavan, agatavan, etc. So here is Dvitiya Bhakti Bahuvachanam. Similarly, Parasahasran is also Dvitiya Bhakti Bahuvachanam, and it's an adjective to Shishyan. Shishyan, Shishya, the word itself means Shastum Yogyaha, one who can be disciplined is a Shishya. So, Antevasi is also similar way. Guroho Antike, Guroho Samipe Yaha Ushitva Adhyanam Karoti, one who studies in proximity to the Guru or who stays in Guru's place and studies. He is called Antevasi. The word we had seen earlier. Astu, Parasahasran Shishyan. Then Teshu Pradhanabhutaha. So we said more than thousands students were taught by Shankaracharya or guided by Shankaracharya. Then uh, uh, among those, there are four who are prominent. Not just four, there are also few more who are prominent, but um, these are the four acharyas which we see along with any photo of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya with four disciples. They are Teshu Pradhana Bhutaha. Teshu is Teshu Shishyeshu, among those students who are the prominent ones. Pradhana Bhutaha means prominent. Padmapadacharya, one Shishya's name is Padmapadacharya, Sureshwaracharya, Hastamalakacharya, and Totakacharya. Iti Chatvarah Shishyaha. Ete Chatvarah Pradhana Bhutaha. Sureshwaracharya is um, basically in the Purvashrama, he was Mandana Mishra, and after Shankara won over the debate, won over Mandana Mishra, he accepted sannyasa and he was then named Sureshwaracharya. There are so many stories and anecdotes related to all these four Pradhana Shishyas of Acharya, which itself is also a very um, great learning for us, how we have to do the Guru Shushruksha, how we have to study, how we have to um, respect the order of the Guru, etc. And hence, in Madhavi Shankara Dikvijaya, when we see Sureshwaracharya would compose certain um, karikas for and also some granthas based on Shankaracharya's order. Hyagya Gurunam Avicharaniya, Agya Gurunam Hyavicharaniya. This saying is quoted in Madhavi Shankara Digvijaya. Whatever the Guru says, that has to be followed. Shirasa tat palaniyam eva. So they are the living examples of such principles in life, how a Guru Shishya relation is. Similarly, Totakacharya, we all know the Totakashtakam, Vidita Khila Shastra Sudha Jaladhe, that was composed by Totakacharya, who was before the infinite grace of Shankaracharya was bestowed on him, was very ordinary student who was probably maybe a bit little bit not so eager in learning a lot and other things, a bit dull also, I would say. But there was one episode that comes in the Acharya Charitam where by giving his infinite or bestowing his infinite grace just in a fraction of a second, he um, did the upadesha of all the vidyas to Totakacharya, who had gone to a river to wash Acharya's clothes. I'll not explain about the prasanga because it will be outside of the scope of the lesson and things. But and then after he came back, he composed, or he basically fell at Shankaracharya's feet and said, Vidita Akhila Shastra Sudha Jaladhe. So he realized how great Shankaracharya was, and then he put that in beautiful Totaka Vritta, Totaka Chandas, and hence he was then named Totakacharya. So these are some of the beautiful incidents that happened in Shankaracharya's Charitam. Anyway, so these are the four Pradhana Shishyas that that have been named. Let us see this, and then we will go for the question and answer after this, because last one paragraph and a short statement is there. We will complete that. Tadanu. Tadanu means after that. So I will read the paragraph first. Tadanu Shri Deshikendraha Mahata Yatnena Ujjivitasya Saddharmasya Sthira Pratishthartham Udichyam Dishi Badaryam Jyotirmathe Totakacharyam Purvasyam Jagannathe Govardhanamathe Padmapadam Pratichyam Dvarakayam Sharadamathe Hastamalakam Dakshinashyam Shringeryam Sharadapithe Sureshwaracharyam cha Sanatana Dharmojjivanaya Niyojya Alpiyasaiva Kalena आसेतु हिमाचलं स्वीयं नित्यं शुद्धं यशो विस्तार्य आयुषो 32 वर्षे केदारनाथ क्षेत्रे समाधिम् आस्थाय परन्धाम प्रपेदे. So what else did Shankaracharya do is the next portion, or even explanation of how he established the 4 mathas in the 4 directions in Bharata, etc. is what is given in this paragraph. Tadanu anantaram iti Shri Deshikendraha. Deshikendraha Deshikanam Indraha. Deshikaha ityukte sannyasi iti vaktum shakyate. Deshikanam sannyasinam Indraha Yatirat iti vaktum shakyate. So Shri Deshikendraha means here Shankaracharya. Mahata yatnena ujjivitasya saddharmasya sthira pratishthartham. इदानीं पूर्वस्मिन् वाक्यखण्डेषु अस्माभिः दृष्टं शङ्कराचार्यः स्वमतम् अद्वैतं सुदीर्घकालं वादं कृत्वा प्रचारयामास इति अस्माभिः दृष्टं. महता यत्नेन सनातनधर्मं पुनः उज्जीवितवान् शङ्कराचार्यः. महता यत्नेन उज्जीवितस्य, महता यत्नेन is one portion with great effort. This is in Tritiya Bhakti Ekavachanam. Mahata yatnena, yatnam nama effort, mahata with great effort, basically. Mahata yatnena, what with great effort, what did Shankaracharya do? He uplifted the Sanatana Dharma or protected the Sanatana Dharma. Saddharmasya, Saddharma is Sat is Uttama Dharmaha itipi vaktum shakyate, or Sanatana Dharmaha itipi chintaitum shakyate. Saddharmasya Ujjivitasya Saddharmasya. Ujjivitasya is the adjective for Saddharmasya. One, the Saddharma which was uplifted already with great effort. Tasya Dharmasya, now it has been uplifted. Now it has to be sustained. It has to be protected further. Sthira Pratishtartham, to establish it further, deep-rooted. Sthira Pratishtartham. Sthira is basically one which is stationed or permanent. Maybe you can think in that way. Sthira Pratishtartham. Acharyah kim kritavan. Idanim, he established 4 mathas. Atra drashtum shakyate. Udichyam dishi. Udichi ityukte uttaradik, in the north. Udichyam dishi. Okay, dishi, this again, Udichyam dishi is in Saptami Bhakti Ekavachanam. But Badaryam, where exactly in the place? Badari. Badaryam is also in Saptami Bhakti Ekavachanam. Badari is Ikarantah Shabdaha. Jyotirmathe, tasya mathasya nama Jyotirmathaha iti. Badaryam Jyotirmathe Totakacharyam, tatra Totakacharyam niyojitavan. Anantaram Purvasyam dishi, coming to the east, Purvasyam dishi, Jagannathe, Puri Jagannatha Kshetre, Govardhana Mathe, the name of the matha is Govardhana Mathaha. Atra sarvatra saptami bhaktihi ekavachanam yatha purvamasit. Tatra Padmapadam is Dvitiya Bhakti Ekavachanam. Padmapadacharyam Govardhana Mathe samsthapitavan. Evam Pratichyam dishi, Pratichyam ityanena Paschima dik iti Dwarakayam, Dwaraka madhye Sharada mathe, tatra mathasya nama Sharada matham iti vadanti. Hastamalakam, tatra Hastamalakacharyam samsthapya. Dakshinasyaam dishi, Dakshine bhage, Dakshina bharate, Shringeryam, Shringagirau, Sureshwaracharyam, Sureshwaracharyam nama Mandala Mishra, Purvashrama Mandala Mishram iti arthaha. Sureshwaracharyam अत्र दक्षिण मठस्य नाम शारदापीठः इति वदन्ति, परमत्र पुस्तके न दत्तं वर्तते. शृङ्गेर्यां सुरेश्वराचार्यं च किमर्थं पुनः सनातनधर्म उज्जीवनाय. सनातनधर्मोज्जीवनाय is a compound word. Even though there is a sandhi, we have split the sandhi now. Sanatana ujjivanaya. Sanatana dharma by itself is not a subanta that can be used directly. It is a pratipadika. So hence we can identify that this is a compound word. Sanatana dharmasya ujjivanaya is the meaning of this compound. Sanatana dharmasya ujjivanaya, to bring back to life or to sustain it very much. Ujjivanaya, uta upasarga sahita jivanaya. It's Chaturthi Vibhakti Ekavachanam. That's the purpose. Why if you ask a question, that is the purpose. Niyojya tadartham tatra etat yushmabhihi kartavyam iti swashishyan niyojya, having delegated this task to his shishyas by establishing 4 mathas and making one designated acharya or the caretaker in those 4 mathas. Alpiyasa kalena. So again here niyojya is lyabanta vyayam, ni upasarga sahita yuj dhatu lyabantam. So having delegated. So if you see the style of writing this statement, in a one big statement, lot of things are being conveyed. So to establish, to safeguard whatever was already uplifted with great effort, Acharya established 4 mathas, and he designated one of his disciples in each of these mathas. And having done that, what will he do? Alpiyasa eva kalena. Again here also alpiyasa, alpam ityarthaha. Alpiyasa eva is again Tritiya Vibhakti Ekavachanam. Alpiyasa eva atra वृद्धि संधि अस्ति कालेन अत्र सवर्णदीर्घ संधि आसेतु हिमाचलम. Asetu Himachalam means the entire span of Bharata basically. Whenever we use in any sentence, abala vriddham, any other word if you consider also, from there till here, something like that. Asetu Himachalam is from the Setu Bandha, that is basically the Kanyakumari or the tip of the southern tip of Bharata to the Himachala till the Himalaya. So the entire span of Bharata, that is the meaning of Asetu Himachalam, is again Dvitiya Bhakti Ekvachanam. Asetu Himachalam Swiyam Nityam Shuddham Yashaha Vistarya. Having spread or propagated or having made his fame spread across the entire Bharata. That means that is the meaning of this statement. Swiyam nama swasya ityartha. Swasya ityukte acharyasya. Nityam. Nityam is Shankaracharya pratasmaraniya. Every day we have to bow down to Shankaracharya, because if not Shankaracharya, then we wouldn't be also thinking or contemplating upon any of the Vedic thoughts or the principles guided down by the Vedas. And hence he has to be remembered with utmost reverence each and every day, each and every moment. So Swiyam Nityam. Nityam is eternal. Nityam here means eternal. Shuddham, pure. His entire Charitram itself is pure by itself. And just by doing a Parayanam of Acharya Charitram, we will accrue a lot of punya or positive merit. Evam tadrisha yashaha. Yashaha is fame. Yasho vistarya. Here visarga ukaradesha sandhi is there. Yashaha vistarya. Yashas is also a napumsakalinga shabda. Sakarantaha napumsakalinga shabda. Yashas, yashaha, yashasi, yashamsi. That's how the forms will be. Yashaha vistarya, having propagated, having spread his fame across India, across Bharata. Ayusho dvatrimshe. Here also Ayushaha dvatrimshe. Ukaradesha visarga sandhi atrapi. Dvatrimshe varshe, at the age of 32. Trimshat ityukte 30. Dvatrimshe is 32. Dvatrimshe varshe. Kedaranatha kshetre. In the place Kedara, in Kedaranatha kshetre. Samadhim asthaya. Samadhim praptamaniti. Samadhim swikritya. Samadhim swikritya. Kim kritavan? Parandhama prapede. Parandhama is his original abode, which is Kailasa. Parandhama prapede. Prapede is also a litlakara rupa. Prapede means he reached the greatest state, or he reached his original abode. That is what is Parandhama. Samadhi. So Samadhi is basically a yogic way in which the 8 limbs of the yoga, if you see, Yama Niyamasana Pranayama Pratyahara Dharana Dhyana Samadhi. The Samadhi is the last thing, which is also called Laya. That is, he completed his Avatara Karya and Antarhitaha. He he went back to his original abode. That is the meaning of this statement. Now let us see the concluding part of it. Adyatana api acharyaha. Here I'll read the statement first. Adyatana api acharyaha dharma samsthapanaya deshadesham vrajantaha shishyan upadishantaha adharmam utpatayantaha vaidika dharmam aharnisham shraddhaya paripalayanti. Namo gurubhyah. Now, if you see this, adyatanaha api acharyaha. Here, adyatanaha is there because of hrasva akara that is coming here, and this is aha dirgha. There is the visarga lopa that is occurred. So we can remember the visarga sandhi now. Api acharyaha atra yen sandhi vartate. Acharyaha adyatanaha api acharyaha ityanena adyapi ye jagadguravah acharyaha eshu pitheshu santi. In all the pithas, the current acharyas also, based on the avichinna parampara of Shankaracharyas, the dharma samsthapanaya, to again establish and protect dharma samsthapanaya, chaturthi vibhakti ekavachanam. This is the purpose. Kimartham iti chet. Deshad desham vrajantaha. Deshad desham vrajantaha is going into various places. Desha here doesn't mean one country and a different country. Deshaha ityukte pradeshaha, region. That is the meaning of desha. Karnataka deshaha, Andhra deshaha, etc. So desha means a region. So it is not, cannot be directly translated it as a country in the modern context. Deshad desham means from one place to another place, one region to another region. Vrajantaha, having, moving around or going to various places. Vrajantaha. Here Vrajantaha is also Shatru Pratyaya. Vrajantau, Vrajantaha. So this is Bahuvachana because we are using Acharyaha, which is Prathama Vibhakti Bahuvachanam here. Adyatanaha api Acharyaha Vrajantaha evam Shishyan Upadishantaha. No sandhi here. Shishyan Upadishantaha is also Shatru Pratyaya. Blessing the disciples with the Vidyas or teaching with their teaching. Shishyan Upadishantaha. Adharmam Utpatayantaha. There is no sandhi again. Adharmam Utpatayantaha. Removing the adharma margas, basically, or adharmis, or the principles that have been told wrongly related to the Sanatana Dharma. Adharmam Utpatayantaha. Here also Ukaradesha Visarga Sandhi. Vaidika Dharmam. Vaidika Dharmam Aharnisham. Aharnisham, day and night. Ahaha ityukte day. Nisham ityukte nisha ityukte ratrihi. Ahoratram Shraddhaya Paripalayanti. Shraddhaya, with utmost devotion and reverence. Paripalayanti, they protect and re-establish it. So let us bow down to such gurus. Namo Gurubhyaha. Tebhyaha Gurubhyaha Asmakam Namaskaraha. Namo Gurubhyaha. This concludes this lesson. Sri Shankarabhagavatpadah. Now we'll again open up for question and answers. Please raise your hands, or you can also put it in the chat box. I will read the questions in the chat box and answer them. In the meantime, I request you to please raise your hands. Pratibhaya meaning, Pratibha means talent or the skills. That is what is Pratibha. Govinda Bhagavatpada, looking into the capability, the competence or the skills of Shankaracharya, immediately identified he is not just any ordinary student, but of course the incarnation of Shankara. So in that context, Pratibha is used. Pratibha is the talent. Okay. Thanks for the message, Rajana Mohodaya. Chat and hand is raise hand is coming under more options. So please check the three dots or something where the more options is there, and then from there you can raise your hand as well as the chat. I think the interface of Zoom has changed a bit, so I'm not sure if we will be able to make any changes related to it. I will still check with the support team or the technical team if there are any other settings that can be enabled so that it will be easy for us to raise hand or even chat or to ask anything. Advaita is always there and given importance by Shankaracharya. Yes, that is right. That was already communicated. Advaita or even a Sanatana Dharma were always existing. It is just made a more probably structured and methodical way and propagated by Shankaracharya. Thanks for that question. Is Padacharena iti किं भवति? Yeah, Padena Charaha iti vaktum shakyate. Padena charati ityapि vaktum shakyate. Padacharaha, we can take it that way. Padbhyam. No, Padena means one leg, but so Padbhyam will be the right one, with because two legs. So Padbhyam charati iti Padacharaha vaktum shakyate. Next, there are a few more questions. No problem. And then sandhinam kechana abhyasaha labhyante va. Yes. So we'll be giving a few more maybe exercise sheets or something to work on the sandhi. And also, as I had mentioned, there will be a short sandhi test also. Once it will be updated on the portal, we will be also communicating. And there is no time bound with respect to that sandhi test. It is just for your practice, and you can attempt it even multiple times to improve your practice and so on. So once that is there, we'll be sending out a communication around that. So we will definitely have practice related to Sandhi. A few other things just on top of my mind which came, I'm just sharing. You can definitely refer to the application, mobile application, where there are also few examples that can be made use of. And as and when you come across any text of Sanskritam, try to see what sandhi is there in that line. Maybe you may be subscribing to some daily or monthly magazines in Sanskritam or some blogs in Sanskritam. Just read any statement and try to see if there is any sandhi, how can I split it? So more in terms of practical application is what it will be helpful to strengthen the concepts, because you are applying it to understand and not just taking few examples to um, maybe split and do the sandhi and practice. So that will be a good practice to do. Okay, next. Okay, so thanks for the comment that today hand raise symbol is appearing. Okay, then I think what else? Shatra and Shanach Pratyaya. Yes, we will be having a bit more focused class like we did for Sandhi on the grammar concepts. Related to the Kridanta also, we'll be having a dedicated session where we'll be going through all the pratyayas that we have seen so far and which we may be uh, seeing also in the future lessons, that we will do it shortly. So we will be explaining in detail about the Kridantas there. But in short, Shatra Pratyaya and Shanach Pratyaya is present continuous. So Shatra in the final remaining part will be Takara, which ends. So that is how it will be Kurvat, like say Kurvan Asti, Gachat, etc. These are the examples of Shatra. Shanach is Ana, it will come Vandamana, Vartamana, etc. That is the Shatra and Shanach. Next is Avarjya itukte kim? Avarjya itukte to having captivated or um, uh, maybe or parivarjya, or we can make use of the same word. Prasarya also we can say, like, I mean, his thoughts, or he mesmerized the minds of people. That way also we can say. That is what is avarjya. Next question on the chat. Um, Okay, so Sandhi in general, Divija Bhagini, when you asked this question, I'm not reading out the full question. So in general, Sandhi Karya occurs whenever we pronounce the words very closely, whether it is in the Vedas or it is in any mantras, etc. The Sandhi Karya would occur depending on how closely we recite the words. So the Sandhi Karya can be done, that is fine, that's not a problem. But in certain cases, specifically, some anuswaras have to be pronounced in the same way as being taught by the gurus, like whatever from whoever you would have received um, the upadesha of any mantra or anything. So that tradition has to be also followed. But sandhikarya is inseparable part of any pronunciation. So so that application or that will occur whenever the words are pronounced closely. So that is the gist of for your question. Dhanyawadaha. Then next, I think mostly okay, WhatsApp group link. I will try to share if I can, if I have it. Yeah. Desha Desham is there. Okay. Desha Desham. It is just, yes, there is a sandhi here. Deshat Desham. Deshat Desham. Then it is basically um, there is a gesto sandhi that has occurred. Takara has changed to Dakara. Deshat Desham. So that is what it is, from Desha to Desha. Okay. Now I will unmute few of you. If your question is already answered, please lower your hands so that I can give chance to who have questions related to the patha that we have done today. Vidyasagar Mohoday, you can ask your question.
महोदय नमस्ते महोदय
Namaste.
अय्याचार्यः इत्युक्ते महोदय
Which one?
अय्याचार्याः
No, api. So here it's apyacharyaha.
अप्याचार्य
Yeah,
sorry
api. Okay, adyatanaha api acharyaha. Okay,
अस्तु अस्तु
even today's acharyas. So even today's acharyas are working tirelessly for the Sanatana dharmas, um, pratishthapanam and rakshanam. So that is the meaning of this statement.
अस्तु धन्यवादः
Dhanyawadaha. Okay, next Gopala Krishna Mahodaya, you can ask your question.
राम 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 अत्र
Namaste.
आवर्जयामास खण्डयामास रचयामास अध्यापयामास. Sir, these are style of writing or masa. You said it is a litlakara.
Correct.
Is
Entire dhatu, the word itself is a
dhatu.
litlakara, not just masa, or that is just an identification. Adhyapaya masa. Like, I mean, whenever you see that, you can identify that it is mostly a litlakara prayoga. So adhyapaya masa or avarjaya masa, that entire word is a litlakara rupa.
Instead of that, there is any other alternative like adhyapa.
Yeah.
Avarjaya?
So yes, possible. There are three ways in which most of the litlakaras. Okay, litlakara has basically two varieties, I would say. One where there is a dvitva, that you can see chakara or papatha. So this where there is a dvitva or a repetition of one letter. That is one kind of litlakara rupa. Another kind for different dhatus, this is changing, right? So another type is this where it is adhyapaya masa, asa is used, or you can also say um, adhyapayan chakara. Instead of masa asa, you can also use chakara, or adhyapayam babhuva. Adhyapayam babhuva, adhyapayan chakara, adhyapayam asa. All three are equivalents. So here in this case, basically the as dhatu is used. So that's how that form is. So if you refer to ashtadhyayi.com for the Kriya Padas, for some of the litlakaras, you can see all these three variations in some of the dhatus. Astu. Okay. Yes. Next, Nalini Bhagini, can you please ask your question? And after you ask your question, yeah, other students, like, I mean, if I forget to mute, please mute yourself so that there's no background noise during the other interaction. Yeah, Nalini Bhagini, you can ask your question.
Namaste Mahodaya. That samagatavan, agatavan, ityukte is understood. Samagatavan, how it enhances that word?
Okay, some upasarga, whenever it means, so samagamaha or samagatavan is he came well. That's the only thing. There's most of the times with addition of upasarga, the meaning may not change dramatically or too much. So it is just samagatavan. He came in. That's the same meaning there.
Astu. Dhanyawad.
Okay. So so that was in so nana digbhyaha samagatan shishyan, right? So Samagatan, so Agatan Shishyan, Samagatan. Samagatan is who all came together. Also, you can think in that way by using Samagatan. That's probably a bit of enhancement of the meaning there. Okay. Rajani Bhagini, you can please ask your question. In the meantime, there's one message. Yeah, I did go through some of the Sandhi materials that is the whatever homework I had given. Some of you had tried it out genuinely. I'm very happy that at least three to four students who shared one in the Excel based and one more an image and also handwritten. Someone had put in good effort in writing it down. Really appreciate your effort. So one quick feedback about the Excel was what I noticed, but I wanted to message, but I with various other things I couldn't do it. Is the order of the swaras is a bit changed. So after a, I, e, r, if it comes, it is more logical to see the pattern. AI is used and then r is coming towards the end. So that order, if you probably update, it will be much more clear to see how Savarna Dirgha Sandhi, Guna Sandhi, and Vriddhi Sandhi, etc. are coming. So that you can just uh, enhance or basically modify it a bit more. Ravi Shankar Moharya, thanks for putting it in the chat as well to get the feedback about it. Dhanyawadaha for that. Rajani Bhagini, you can ask your question.
Mahoday, I couldn't understand Sriyan, Nityam, Shudham,
Okay.
Shudham, Yasho, Vistarya.
Okay, sure. I will
So,
just quickly
what
tell.
is Sriyan?
Swiyam means swasya ityartha, his own.
Self.
So his own is what is Swiyam. Nityam is eternal. So Nitya means one which stays always. So that is Nityam. Shuddham is pure or pious. And Yashaha Vistarya. So Yashaha is the fame. By spreading his fame, which is eternal and pure in entire Pradesha or in entire Desha. That's the meaning of this statement.
Dhanyavad.
Sure. Okay, next, Usha Bhagini, you can ask your question.
Namo Namaha. Shruyate va?
Shruyate.
Now, what is the Vedaha kim asti? Shlokaha and Stotra.
Okay.
Stotram and Shlokaha kim Vedam asti?
Okay. So Shloka and Stotra are similar, I would say, in a way. The word meaning may have a bit of a difference. So Stuti is praising is called Stuti. Okay. Any kind of praise, whatever you are saying, the good words or praising, that is called Stuti. Stotum, that Stutya, or through the Stuti, if it protects us. So that is called stotra. Wherever you hear the word tra or say mantra, tantra,
Trayate.
yeah,
Trayate.
etc. Yes, that is what is
Trayate
trayate iti.
Trayate.
Correct. Stutya trayate iti stotram. We can just say that way. Shlokaha is also, shloka also means praising. Shushloka, or like when say anything, shloka and stotra in general, there is no major difference in understanding. But another aspect I will just briefly tell. Shloka is also called as one of the meter. Like, I mean, whatever is coming in Anushtup, usually
Shloka meter.
they call it as shloka. Whatever comes in a poetic form, they call it as shloka. But whereas stotra is where you also have maybe specifically one deity, and then you are praising about that. So that is also stotra. So in general, you can use it interchangeably. Don't worry too much about it.
Dhanyavad.
Sure.
Academic interest.
Yes, of course. Dhanyawadaha.
Dhanyavadaha.
Okay, we will take maybe a few more questions. Bhuvaneshwari Bhagini, if your question is already answered, please lower your hands. Yeah.
That day you told about an app, Sandhi app.
Correct.
I couldn't locate in the Play Store. Can you please explain?
Yeah, sure. So, or you can refer to the digitalsanskritguru.com. That is a website. And from there you can navigate, or you can also reach out to Vyoma support team. They can help you identify like where from how you can actually download it. Or maybe I will see if possible I will share the link in the WhatsApp or something. Okay, it is there in Play Store, says Hindi. I'm not sure about it, but okay. Yeah, I will just check and probably share it. I don't have the link handy.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so maybe we'll go with the last question. I think we are already time. So one last question for today. Vidya Bhagini.
Namaste, Mahoday.
Namaste.
I just want to know, there are two papers we have to write appear for, isn't it? So
Correct.
in that case, will I be allowed to appear for one and probably the second one in the next session? Is it possible?
No. So at least the Sringeri exams is always all the papers will be there together. So of course only two papers are there. So it has to be written in the same session. So you cannot write one paper now and one more in the next time. So that will not be probably allowed. But if there are
Okay.
any changes in that, etc., if there is any official communication, I can probably share about it. But
Okay. There
so
is
far, it is always done together.
okay. There is just one more doubt that amasa and chakara you have said. So the all amasa words can be changed to chakara words, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
All
yes, we can.
amasa.
Yeah,
Or any
yeah.
particular place where it is
No,
done, some rule or something.
no. For whichever dhatus, the litlakara form is um, like avarjayam asa, something like this. Avarjayam babhuva, avarjayan chakara, avarjayan chakre. All these four variants you can automatically do. So that is allowed. So there's no specific rule for only asa should be used or chakara should be used, etc. All four can be interchangeably used.
Yes. Astu.
Okay.
Dhanyawad.
Astu. Dhanyawadaha. With that, we will wind up today's class. But before I conclude, there will be this exercises. And also we'll have some more short portion that is left from the Amarkosha and other things, which you can also refer to once the slides are provided. I will also complete this in probably in coming class. These questions will be uploaded. I request you to try answering it and then referring to the notes later. So, but try answering it. It's very quick and easy set of questions related to Sandhi and everything is also available. So, please try to uh, do this exercise. With that, we shall conclude today's class. Sarvebhyaha Ram 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 Dhanyawadaha Punah Milamah. Namo Namaha.